Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. We're entering into a new phase. One where I'm going to say, if you have any children under the age of 13 in the room, have them leave. This video is not made for children under the age of 13. Now, I'm forced to say that because of some draconian measures established by the Federal Trade Commission and YouTube. They are afraid that YouTube will somehow glean information about a 13-year-old or younger child and use that to manage ads that they'll present on these videos, because those ads get them more money because they're targeted ads. And the whole goal of the thing is the age 13 and under is a very prolific source of money. Yeah, they don't really pay much attention to what happens to them. They just listen to the ad and say, "Mommy, I want." So the FTC, for some God only knows reason, has decided that they are the arbiter of children's safety. And to facilitate that, they have passed a ruling that's called COPPA, C-O-P-P-A. That is to prevent anybody from collecting data on a child. Personal data. I think it's a bunch of bull. Stop just short of actually cussing, because that would make this a non-child video. I could use a lot of language that would say, hey, this is not for kids. But that kind of destroys the whole premise behind having a YouTube channel that is meant as an educational source. So, anyways, because we're in close proximity to killing this channel and making it so that Old Sneelock's Workshop doesn't exist, I'm going to try and finish up the Toolbox that we started so many months ago. And to facilitate that, I'm going to mount the casters today. You're welcome to watch. There'll be some jump cuts, and this is some old footage and some new footage combined. And if I've talked too long, I'm sorry. I only get to do this for just a short time. I don't want to get sued after all. I have a break in the kitchen redo. There's more work to be done, but right now I can't do anything on the kitchen, and the kitchen is pretty much stable. So I'm going to take a little time and work on my toolbox again. I would like to get this done. Now, I have a first coat of black paint on the base. I did manage to do that in between things when somebody wasn't looking. But I did manage to get the base painted with one coat. I had to kind of work that in as time allowed. The basement has been a total chaotic mess. I've got crap all over the place because I had to run new wire into the dishwasher, and that meant I had to move all the tools and everything off the tool wall, and I just got it back together this morning. I'm going to take a few minutes and put in a second coat of black paint on the base, and then I'm going to put a coat of black paint on the top that's sitting over there leaning against the lathe bench. See if I can't get this moving forward. It takes a while to dry. This is Rust-Oleum paint, which is oil-based paint, and the reason I'm using it is because it's oil-based paint, not for its rust preventative activities, because this is wood. It really doesn't need it. But it's a nice black oil-based paint, and I have 4 or 5 little quart cans of it left over from a project. I used it to paint the frame of the 1946 Ford 3-ton truck, and that's been gone now 9 years. So it's old paint. I'm getting to use it up. that's got that. I gotta let this settle a bit. There we go. Now, even oil-based paint, I can wrap the brush up in aluminum foil and it'll seal it and it'll stay for a good week without being cleaned. You can't go much longer than that. It starts setting up in there. And now I got to clean off my hands because I got black paint everywhere. In the previous clip, you saw me painting the legs. It's a wonderful piece of work. I always enjoy painting. And now I have this nice shiny black base on the toolbox. So, this is set up to have the fixed casters on this end. And the swivel casters on this end. Part of the problem with working on these jobs over a long period of time, you tend to set things down and then place other things on top of them, especially when you have a high amount of chaos factor like we do here in this shop. Let's see, there we go. Let's see if I can get this working now. There. This has been a long time going, considering that this was a add-on. It wasn't a necessity for the toolbox. It was a convenience. I saw it strictly as a way to make the toolbox easier to use, was to have casters on it. But it is added. Well, I started this project before I went to Louisiana. And that was October 1st. So it is now middle of November. Admittedly, there was some time in Louisiana in the middle, but a whole lot of things have happened and projects have stacked up and other issues have raised their ugly head, and I'm working around them. So now I have a toolbox that can be set on casters and rolled around the shop. If nothing else, that is an improvement over its former state of existence. Before I set it down, I'm going to sweep the floor because there's so much junk on the floor here. I don't think I could get it to roll very well. Clean flat spot on the floor, let's set it down. Doesn't rock. Even with my bad back, I can reach down and touch the bottom quite easily, which was one of the points of doing it. Okay, well, that part of the project is done. I have the legs mounted, nicely braced and fastened up, and they're painted, and I have the casters on. Now, tills fit in there just nicely. Now this top still needs to be painted. And oddly enough, it's heavier than the base. I don't think this is the same wood as the sides are made from. Pretty solidly built. So, that's the toolbox with the casters on it. More work to be done. But I have other things to do, miles to go before I sleep. Still got a kitchen to rewire because I'm trying to save that $1,800. No, it's not so that I can pay for the LLC, it's so that I can pay for rebuilding the kitchen. Now I have to finish wiring up the kitchen. Won't get that done today. It's going to be an ongoing project. What I will be doing is installing duplex boxes and running number 12 wire up to them. The kitchen is right now wired with number 14 grounded wire, which means it's grounded, but number 14 isn't really heavy enough for a 20 amp circuit. And everything should be a 20 amp circuit in the kitchen because you want to plug in a frying pan or a toaster or a frying pan and a toaster and a mixer and a blender and a crock pot. So you really need to have enough current carrying capacity to handle all those things, because if there's an outlet there, people will use it. 20 amp circuit, I can have 8 different receptacles on it. The dishwasher and all the countertop outlets will be on one circuit. That way I can have 8 receptacles in the kitchen and I'll be good to go. Got to stay within code, got to keep within my permit, which cost me $105, and I don't want to have to make out another permit to get additional outlets in. All it would get me is one more receptacle. It's really not worth the trouble to spend another $105 for one receptacle. Okay guys, that's where we're at today. I have a rolling toolbox. Now I'm going to have to paint the top, get the hinges wire brushed, painted, mounted, and then I can put the rub rail around the top of it and have that all taken care of. When I get that done, I'll be able to put the canvas on. And then I'll put on the steel strap, and then we'll go on to the next step, whatever that may be. If there's time. Clock's ticking. I want to get this so you can at least see it finished. I'm going to cut back on any other projects on the videos. If I don't have a video during the day, it's because I didn't get a chance to work on the toolbox, and the toolbox is the only thing that I will be monkeying with. Thanks for watching. And remember, keep the kids out of the room. Nobody under 13 gets to see these videos because they're not made for kids. Lawyers. May they all burn in hell.